Good morning, friends, and welcome to Fiber and Floral, a mostly knitting podcast. I am so excited to get to talk to you because it is our favorite season as knitters. Winter is here. I am very ready. It may be uncool, but I truly love Christmas and winter and snow. I grew up in the American South where in winter it can be basically summer. My winter jacket in university in Alabama is my summer jacket here, if that tells you anything. So I'm very excited about winter and getting to wear all my cozy sweaters. And today I'm going to be talking about my winter make 9 list and everything I plan on knitting in the months of December, January, and February. So stick around if you're interested to see what cozy things I have ready to knit up. I am so excited to talk with you also. Grab a cup and let's get started. So let's start off like we always do. I will share with you this gorgeous sweater that I'm wearing. This is actually, I talked about this in one of my first knitting podcasts. It was the first test knit, one of the first test knits that I'd done in a long time for the lovely Rust Knitwear. I just adore Simone and her designs. And this is her recent Brioche Bliss sweater, which is bliss, if I can say that. I knitted up in Wool Dreamers Moto and it is so cozy. I love the brioche dish. Is just cozy and cushiony, like makes you want to cuddle with it, and just an absolute delight. I have worn this as a jacket multiple times throughout the fall and spring, which is still really cold here, and it's just warm and lovely. And especially in the winter time, I wear it so much because if I'm going out to a Christmas market, if I'm going to be outside, this under a jacket is going to keep me warm. And then it's so big and cozy, I can wear sweaters underneath even. Just a great layering piece to add to your wardrobe this winter season. And there's also a jacket design, as well as I think there's like a mohair wrap sweater. She's done a lot with this stitch pattern and it's just lovely. It features what is this shoulder called? A saddle shoulder construction, which I really love, like the way this fits on me. This is the only sweater I've done with a saddle shoulder, and I just Simone did a great job. And it features this really lovely, let me put my coffee mug down. It features this really lovely decrease design, which is really what sold me on it, like the way that this just comes across. It's just a really stunning feature. I cropped it and it's just great. So definitely check it out. This is the Brioche Bliss sweater from Rust Knitwear. Now, yeah, but more to our topic. In the same vein as last time, I'm going to do 3 sweaters, 3 accessories, and 3 socks. Yes, I know socks are accessories, but not in the knitting world. Anyways, so let me start with sweaters first, as always. The first sweater that I am going to knit, definitely going to knit because it is a test knit for Rebecca Clove from the Creabea, is the Kentra sweater. I hope I'm saying this right. And it features a colorwork yoke. It's 1x1, which so it would be a great starter sweater if you're new to colorwork, and you can use from 4 colors up to 24 colors. And so it's great for scrap yarn. It's also great for yarn advent calendars. I have always been attracted to yarn advent calendars, but never knew what to do with all the skeins at the end. So I've never purchased one. And I was too late in the year to order one when I realized that I had gotten this test knit, but definitely an idea for next year. So I think next year might be the first yarn advent I do, so I can knit up a yoke in this sweater. I'm just not really, I try to knit. There are several popular blanket patterns out there that I've tried to knit, but I'm not a blanket person. So I'm definitely a sweater person, and I think this is just a gorgeous sweater. I'm posting a picture here as always, and I showed you in my in my last video, but I'll show you again just in case you're new. My main color is going to be a lovely winter cream color. This is Drops Lima, which is a DK weight alpaca yarn. I have a bunch of this because I was going to knit a blanket with it, and just not a blanket person, like I said. And then my accent colors, I'm going to use 5. Like I said, you can use anywhere from 4 to 24. So just an incredibly versatile pattern is I'm going to use some nice wintry blues paired with some orange and yellow. And I think it's just going to be a really lovely, kind of wintry, a warm wintry blend of colors that I'm really excited about. And I've mentioned before, like my ideal project is like something going on in the yoke, or like a part of it, like a colorwork cuff sock or a colorwork yoke sweater. So something that draws your eye, but then the rest of it is stuck in it. And this is one of the sweaters I'm just so excited to get started and to knit it up. One of the things I mentioned that I learned from my last Make 9 video is not to get to be more aware of the projects that I'm picking and not to pick all colorwork sweaters or all colorwork socks or whatever. And so this time I was very aware of like, okay, I do include some simple stockinette projects that if I'm tired and I just want to like relax, that I can have. And so I was very intentional about choosing the DRK Everyday Sweater by Andrea Mowry. This is a top down, it's got a mock turtleneck, and it is in a sport weight yarn, which I don't think I have any sweaters in sport weight yet. So I thought that was also, it adds a little interest. And I got this Kingston tweed while in Baltimore. It is in this beautiful chocolate brown color. I'm a little nervous about like, I typically tend to knit like creams and blues in winter. And I'm a little nervous about knitting like with brown in winter just because it is so dark here, but I'm going to give it a try and maybe it'll be a cozy vibe. But I just fell in love with this chocolate brown. There was also like a tweedy white that I was looking at the store and like a green. And I literally sat there in the store for maybe an hour. Just like way too, okay, it was probably realistically like 30 minutes, but it was a very long time just like looking at these 3 colors, be like, which one do I want to choose? Which one do I want to choose? And it ultimately came down to which color did they have enough yarn of? And so the chocolate brown it is. And I've never really been a brown person, but when I did my color analysis, brown is something that came up as like a really good color for me instead of black. And so I think it'll be really nice to have a simple brown sweater and kind of ease into the brown world. And yeah. My third sweater though is something I'm really excited about because this is just going to be a dream project. And I'm going to knit the Runt Idalen by Kristen Viola Ogdegaard. And I mentioned her, I just happened upon her book in the Baltimore Library and quickly became obsessed with her designs. I've ended up buying the book that I mentioned that was at my Baltimore library is no longer in print, sadly. It was just impossible to find. But the design that I was wanting to knit is available in her ebook that she has on her website called 1 Year of Cardigans. And so I have actually purchased that and I will be knitting this sweater and it is just stunning. I'm very nervous about an all over colorwork sweater, but I think it's going to be an excellent challenge for me. And so around the same time that I decided to knit the sweater, BC Garn contacted me and offered to send me a sweater's quantity of their Samilla yarn, which is a 2-ply sport weight yarn, merino yarn, I believe. And I literally screamed. I was so excited. And it is just beautiful. It is so soft and I'm really excited. I got this kind of a dusty blue color. It is the colorway. Let me see if I can find the color 25. And I'm also going to get some white and some like rusty orange to kind of be an accent. So I'm going to do blue as the main color, get some white as the contrast color. And then the sleeves have this like just a small row of a pop color, which I love the idea of just like a little line of pop. And I think that's going to be like a dusty orange, a rusty orange, or like a brown color. And it's just, I'm so excited to have this sweater. The only thing I'm going to do instead of a cardigan, so the way it's constructed, I believe it's actually bottom up. I'm going to try to knit it top down. And instead of, which might be a terrible idea, but I'm going to go for it. And instead of steeking the sweater at the end, I'm just going to leave it as a pullover, and that's going to be it. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be my first all over colorwork sweater, and like, once again, 2 sport weights. I'm really excited about knitting this up. It's going to be my first all around colorwork sweater, and it's going to be absolutely stunning. I feel like this is going to be one of those heirloom pieces that I pass on to my grandchildren if I have any, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to take me a long time. I might not finish this winter, but I'm definitely going to start it, and it's just going to be beautiful. Blue is another color that I really love and was also on my color analysis, and I've been trying to add more to my wardrobe. It's not necessarily a color that I reach for, but I do love like a soft dusty blue. So I'm really excited to have this, and I think this will just be a sweater that I cherish for years to come. So those are my 3 sweaters for the winter. I've got some easy ones. I've learned from my mistakes, but I've also got some complicated ones ranging in difficulty, and I think that's going to be really good. Moving on to accessories. I've already talked about this one. This is another one that's kind of been shoved into the winter quarter from my autumn make 9, and it is my first hand spun project. It is the Traveler Shawl by Andrea Mowry in my hand dyed and hand spun yarn. So yeah, I'm just really excited to hopefully finish this. Like, I'm really motivated to finish this in winter because I really don't wear a lot of springs. I really don't wear a lot of shawls in the spring and summer, and I think this will just be really nice. I intentionally added teal into this colorway because I have a teal winter coat, and so it would be really nice to actually wear it with my parka, with my teal blue parka. So we'll see if I get that done. I'm really motivated, and I'd like to get restarted on that in December. So the Traveler Shawl by Andrea Mowry. Second accessory I want to work on are the Erna mittens by Russ Knitwear by Simone, and the Alpaca 2 by Isager. I bought this yarn once again in Copenhagen and just I walked into a store and fell in love with this purple. It's got like, I feel like it's not showing up on camera, but it's got just like soft bits of pink and blue and gray and cream. And I just love this mauve color. It's beautiful. And alpaca is a very warm fiber. And so I knew it would be great for gloves. I'm going to knit the Erna mittens because I have yet to knit mittens, and because I test for Russ Knitwear a lot, I got this pattern for free as a thank you for knitting, I believe, this sweater actually. She lets you pick which pattern, but I think I had bought this pattern then, and I'm going to hold this double to make a DK weight gauge, and I'm also going to knit it. So she has instructions in the pattern for fingerless gloves or full gloves, and I actually think I'm going to do both. So I'm going to knit the fingerless gloves and then go back and pick up stitches along the knuckles and then knit the flap so I can like flip it over, because I do bike to work and I wear gloves when biking through winter. But what happens is it's basically at the same point, about halfway, there's a stoplight like almost halfway to work. And usually at that stoplight, I take off my gloves because my hands are so warm. But then the rest of the way, my hands are so cold. So I think having gloves that I can flip back on themselves to kind of give my fingers a little bit of air, but still keep the rest of my hands warm will be really nice. Or like if I'm on the playground with kids, if I need to like get on my phone or like help a kid tie their shoelaces or something, it'll be easy to just like flip up. So I've never had like gloves that you can like flip up like that. And I'm really excited to kind of hack this pattern. And this is just a stunning pattern. She has several patterns. She has like an Erna scarf and an Erna hat. I believe she has like a similar headband as well. I have all of them in my Ravelry. Have yet to knit any of them, but I love this stitch pattern. I believe she also has a couple cardigans in this stitch pattern, maybe. She has a lot of things, and this is one of her. I know Double Broken Rib is one of her favorite stitch patterns, and yeah, I can agree. I love it. It looks gorgeous. And I think having some handmade mittens will be really lovely. And I'm definitely like in a purple vibe right now. And I'm obsessed with this purple. And then my third one, shocker, will be the Bright Beanie, again, by My Dear Puppet. And I'm actually going to knit 2 of these, hopefully. I'm going to knit one for my youngest daughter in Rainbow Over Berlin, which is a hand-dyed sock yarn from Keats Garn. I really enjoy knitting hats for my kids in sock yarn because if they get sweaty, it it doesn't felt. Or if I need to wash it, it doesn't felt. So, and then I'm also going to knit one for myself. I have already purchased this yarn, but it's hand dyed from the Mindful Creator. And so I'm still waiting for it to come in. It should come in around mid-December. And I got the S'mores colorway in her recent fall collection. And obviously s'mores, being an American, is just a pastime for me. And when she announced the campfire collection, I was just waiting. I was like, there's going to be a s'mores. There's going to be a s'mores. There's got to be a s'mores colorway. And there was, and it's beautiful. And oh, it's just got all the beautiful colors. I'm going to try to post a photo so you can just revel in the glory of this colorway. And like I mentioned, brown is a color that I've been trying to incorporate into my wardrobe more. And it's just, I love like the browns and the creams and the yellows, and oh, it's gonna be really exciting. And so the Brighton beanie in my size, calls for about 90 grams of fingering weight yarn. And so I think this will be perfect. It'll leave me just enough to do like maybe like a contrast little sock cuff in it, but I'll be able to get a whole hat out of one skein of this gorgeous fingering weight yarn. So I'm really excited for that to come in and to get started on this hat as well. So the first sock I want to knit, and this is going to be my like Christmas gift to myself, is going to be the Indoorsy sock from Sondrum Yarn Company. This is a free pattern that I mentioned during my sock video, and it is knit with one skein of fingering weight yarn and one skein of mohair, and it just makes the coziest sock. And going to January and February being the coldest months of the year here, I think this is just going to be a beautiful sock to have in my wardrobe. And so I picked up this skein of yarn in Baltimore, also at Black Sheep. She was having a sock yarn sale, and so I actually got this skein. I went to the front. I just assumed this was going to be like a $30 skein of yarn, and I went to the front and it ranked them as 14, and I went back and got 2 more of the same colorway. I just adore the speckles, and it was such a good price. I really love Black Sheep. I can't say enough about this yarn store. If you live in Baltimore, you need to go check out this yarn store. It is incredible. So I think this speckles combined with like a cream mohair is just going to be absolutely stunning. And then this sock pattern is a very simple sock pattern, but like with just the tiniest little bit of ribbing. And you guys know how I feel about rib socks. I think it is just going to be the coziest pair of socks in my life and such a gift to myself. So that is the first sock I'm going to knit. The second sock I'm going to knit is another sock yarn that I bought at Black Sheep in this kind of gorgeous it's also hand dyed. It is a caramel color with just like a slight variation in the colorway. And so I thought this would be good for the Cozy Autumn socks, which is another free pattern that I listed. And when I saw this yarn, I knew it would be perfect for this pattern. This is a pattern that I've had probably in my Ravelry queue for multiple years. I love it. I cannot believe it's a free pattern. It's stunning. And so I'm planning on making this my January sock in this gorgeous colorway. I think it's going to fit perfectly, and I'm really excited to knit it up. I've never done a lace sock before, so that's going to be really interesting. Very curious to see how it feels to wear lace socks in comparison to like a mohair sock or a colorwork sock, and if it's just very interesting to see how that feels on my foot. And then my third sock. And so, like I learned from last time, I thought it was important, since my other 2 socks were not so basic, if you'll excuse my pun, that it would be time to do a basic sock. And so I have this self-striping sock yarn in stash. Actually, I got it from my yarn group, or my knitting group. I got it from my knitting group. We were doing a kind of bring a de-stash. And so everyone brings their yarn, we put it on the table and just kind of trade with each other. And so I traded last time for this really lovely sock yarn. It kind of has all my favorite colors. There's the cream, there's the mauve, there's the green, there's the rusty mustard color. And so I'm going to give this a go and just knit a basic vanilla sock that is striped, so it's not so basic. And I've also never done a striped sock, and I feel like that self-striping yarn is something I'm really interested in because it's easy to knit but has like a high appeal at the end. So We'll see. I'm very aware that there are no Christmas socks in here. And I told myself, like, no, you've done a lot of color work. You don't need to do a Christmas sock. You can always do one next year. I keep telling myself this. I know it's for the best. However, I really want to knit one. So there might be a surprise sock. We'll see what happens. I feel like I'm telling myself that I need to keep it easy with socks because I have these grand projects planned in my accessories and sweaters, but my heart wants to knit a colorwork sock. So we'll see if there's like a bonus sock in here. I can't promise that this list will stay the same. We'll see. And then in addition to these make 9, I always do a bonus category of sewing. And so I still have this gorgeous plaid that I'd like to do something with. I wanted to do something in autumn, but basically it's this beautiful rainbow plaid from, I believe, is it Fabulism? I just love Fabulism. It's cotton, but like I've ordered from Fabulism before, and their cotton really has like a linen feel to it that I just adore. I ordered this from, I believe, Marie's fabric kit. She has a lot of gorgeous linens and high quality fabrics that I got this as a birthday treat for myself. My mom always gives me fabric money every year, and so I bought this for myself. And I ordered 3 meters, and it's so precious to me that I've really been struggling. I had planned a skirt, but still I don't know what skirt. And I think I finally landed on like a midi length gathered skirt. I was hoping I would have enough for like a midi circle skirt, but I don't think I am. So I think a midi gathered skirt is going to be what I land on. And I think this will just be such a joyous skirt to wear through winter and kind of keep the darkness at bay. So that's one thing I'd finally like to sew up. Another fabric that I bought recently from Berliner Schnitte, which is a local fabric shop in Berlin with the lovely Andrea, is this gorgeous Atelier Brunet fabric. And once again, I'm in a purple mood, but it has all these colors that I really love. It's got burgundy, it's got rose, it's got teal, and I was hoping I would do a blouse with it. I've bought viscose from Atelier Brunet before, and it's been a lot more flowy. This is definitely, I feel like this has to have some kind of twill in it. I need to look up the fabric content, but it's a little bit thicker. And so I actually think this is going to make a lovely skirt. I'll probably do another gathered skirt or maybe like a short mini circle skirt. I'm really into those at the moment, but we'll see. But it's definitely going to be a skirt. And I actually think I realized I was a little bit disappointed it could be a blouse because I really think I like this next to my face, but I'm going to listen to the fabric. I know it won't make a good blouse. It's just too thick, but it will make a lovely skirt. And I do think that this brown sweater and this skirt will pair amazingly well together. And so I am excited about wearing these two things together. And I think it's always good to have outfits in mind as we're making something, to know that like it's going to be worth our time. And I do think this will make a really stunning outfit together. Maybe I'll have them in time for Valentine's Day. That's how much of a planner I am. Already planning my Valentine's Day outfit in the end of November. And then my third fabric is, I would love to do a Marnie blouse, which is a pattern by, oh goodness, I'll post it below. She's a very popular British pattern designer. And so I picked this fabric up. I picked up 4 meters because it was so cheap from my local fabric market. And I would love to do a toile or a practice run of a Marnie blouse, so that The Secret Life of a Seamstress. She is also a vlogger on the YouTube. She made this gorgeous white viscose Marnie blouse. I've been obsessed with it since she made it. And so I'd love to do a toile of that and then buy some white viscose to do that in early spring. So that is 3 things I'd like to sew this winter as well. And then another bonus I have is what I'm going to spin. In addition to finishing up the spinning for my traveler shawl, I bought this for my daughter in Baltimore from A Lovely Yarn, which is a yarn shop in Baltimore as well. And I actually took a spinning lesson there from a lovely woman named Michelle. I absolutely recommend her as a spinning teacher. She did an amazing job if you are a fiber artist in the Baltimore, DC area, honestly, there's so much for you. I'm so jealous. But I wanted to buy some fiber because since I took my first spinning lesson there in person, and there were a lot of colorways that were intense. So I actually picked this out for my daughter because there's glitter in it. And she is very much like, this is very much her unicorn mermaid sparkle vibe. And I know that if I spin up, I can get, so I'll probably make her a scarf or something out of this. It's 100 grams and it's by a local dyer called Create Yarn Works. She's in Annapolis, which is really about, I believe it's like 2 hours from Baltimore. So, and so yeah, I wanted to get something local and support local artists. And this is just, this had my daughter immediately on. Like she saw it in my bag as I was walking back in and she was like, oh, Mom, is that for me? And I was like, it actually is, babe. So yeah, I'm excited to make a scarf. Maybe I'll, knit something that we could all steal, like all three of us in the household, because I think this would be a very fun colorway to just a bright spot of color. So that is my goal, to just not even to knit it up, just to spin it up over the winter. So yeah, those are my winter make 9 slash, I think that probably ended up being like 16 things again. As you can see, I am just full of, I feel like one of my problems is I've been knitting so slowly is because I just get distracted by so many ideas and I'm just full of ideas at the moment and there's just not enough time in the day for all the projects that I want to make. But that's kind of half the fun for me in making projects, is just thinking them up. So yeah, I'd love to hear what your plans are for winter. If you have anything that you're making, I'll also have a few surprises in the way. I'm going to be knitting up a few small little ornaments in the month of December, and I'll post a few videos of those. So if you're interested in seeing what little ornaments I have, maybe click subscribe below. And yeah, I'd love to see you in the month of December. Thank you so much for watching and happy making, friends. Bye.